Hey, Cowboys Nation, as we approach the closing stretch of the season, the scoreboard tells a story that is hard to ignore. 4 games of anticipation, tension, and occasional exhilaration have brought us to this point, and with only to contest remaining, the harsh reality is undeniable. The Cowboys are no longer in the playoff picture. It is a moment that forces reflection, and I want to hear from the fans. Are you ready to move forward? Or are you still clinging to the hope of a strong finish? These last games may not change postseason outcomes, but they are far from meaningless. They offer the team a platform to test strategies, evaluate personnel, and begin the crucial work of shaping next year's roster. There is a fine balance between competing for pride and experimentation, and this is precisely the tension that the organization must navigate in these closing weeks. Discussions about whether to prioritize draft positioning have surfaced, and while there is a certain logic to that approach, the reality is more nuanced. The chances of landing a top 10 pick remain minimal, and the margin between mid-first round selections is rarely transformational in terms of immediate impact. The true value lies in observing younger players, assessing potential breakout stars, and allowing veterans to demonstrate leadership in pressure situations. Week 17 may serve as the last moment for starters to shine, while Week 18 could become a canvas for evaluating depth, refining rotations, and exploring alternative approaches that could strengthen the team for next season. Special teams, which have been a notable vulnerability this year, are a critical focus. Under new coordination, every return seems fraught with risk, and the inconsistencies are glaring. Players who were once reliable have struggled to adjust, with missed blocks, poor lane recognition, and hesitations turning opportunities into liabilities. These issues extend beyond returns. They bleed into offensive dynamics and overall team confidence. Evaluating the performance of key contributors in these situations is essential, as it provides insight into both talent development and the effectiveness of coaching methodologies. Every snap, every assignment, and every misstep informs the broader picture of roster evaluation. Offensive rotations have been a source of debate, especially regarding personnel like Trevon Turpin. Despite flashes of athletic ability, inconsistencies in route execution, field vision, and ball security have limited his impact. The coaching staff faces tough choices: continue integrating him into game plans, or reallocate opportunities to emerging players like Jalen Tolbert or Jonathan Mingo, whose contributions could be more reliable and consistent. This process of evaluation is not simply about immediate production. It is about projecting long-term potential, understanding who can thrive within the system, and identifying who can perform under the pressures of high-stakes moments. Defense has been equally challenging. Linebackers have struggled with fundamentals, positioning, and decision-making. And while rookies are granted some leniency, veteran underperformance has exacerbated vulnerabilities. These lapses have created pressure on the offense to compensate and have highlighted deficiencies in coaching, preparation, and in-game adjustments. Tackling, coverage, and situational awareness have all at times fallen short, creating a domino effect that impacts the entire team. Every error is a critical data point for the front office and coaching staff, shaping strategies for off-season interventions, personnel changes, and developmental priorities. Yet, it is not all bleak. Moments of brilliance, like George Pickens' return to the field, provide tangible evidence of the talent that resides on the roster. The ability to stretch defenses vertically, generate explosive plays, and energize both teammates and fans underscores what can be accomplished with consistency and alignment between coaching strategies and player capabilities. These highlights, juxtaposed with struggles elsewhere, make the season's remaining games a testing ground for what works and what requires recalibration. Observing how the roster responds under pressure, how new schemes perform, and how younger players adapt offers invaluable insight for future planning. Leadership and coaching have been under the microscope throughout the season. Decision-making in critical moments, such as fourth downs or red zone opportunities, has occasionally appeared cautious or miscalculated. While the responsibility is shared across the roster, the head coach inevitably carries heightened accountability for the team's overall performance. Evaluating these decisions is essential, not as an exercise in blame, but as a measure of whether strategies and leadership align with long-term objectives. Players' capacity to execute, respond to adversity, and maintain professionalism reflects both individual character and the cultural foundation established by coaching. These observations will inform off-season priorities. From adjustments in play calling to identifying which players can thrive in elevated roles, the final games also provide an opportunity to analyze team culture. How does the roster respond to setbacks? Are leaders stepping forward to mentor, guide, and stabilize the unit? The character displayed in these closing contests, even in the absence of playoff stakes, is a reflection of professionalism and preparation. Every snap contributes to a broader narrative about resilience, adaptability, and accountability. Understanding these dynamics is critical for developing a team that can contend consistently at a championship level offensively. Dak Prescott has demonstrated both brilliance and vulnerability when operating at peak performance. His precision, timing, and decision-making have the potential to dismantle defenses, yet errors in execution can amplify existing gaps elsewhere on the field. The offensive line, receivers, and supporting skill players all contribute to the symphony of success or the breakdown of effectiveness. Evaluating each of these roles under real game conditions remains an essential component of shaping next year's roster. Meanwhile, the defense continues to highlight systemic weaknesses. Linebackers, in particular, have faced challenges and penalties, missed assignments, and inconsistent execution have undermined overall performance. The cumulative effect of these lapses is tangible. Stalled drives, turnovers, and opportunities surrendered. Understanding where coaching interventions, tactical adjustments, or player development are necessary will be central to preparing for a stronger campaign in the future. Special teams follow a similar narrative, with inconsistent execution impacting field position and momentum. Observing performance under pressure provides clarity on who can handle critical roles and which areas require urgent focus. The interplay between offense, defense, and special teams defines this season's narrative. Individual brilliance has often compensated for systemic issues, but this approach is not sustainable. Depth, consistency, and reliability must be cultivated to compete at the highest level. The remaining games are an opportunity to gather insights into talent readiness, scheme effectiveness, and leadership impact. Coaches, staff, and management can observe firsthand how players respond to adversity, which strategies succeed, and where structural changes are necessary. Every decision, adjustment, and execution carries weight in shaping the team's off-season trajectory. These games provide context for evaluating leadership, player potential, and strategic priorities. It is a season where frustration coexists with glimpses of promise, and the lessons embedded in each snap are crucial for long-term improvement. Observing, analyzing, and reflecting on these moments allows the Cowboys to build a framework for a more consistent and competitive future. In navigating these final contests, the organization faces complex choices. Balancing competitive integrity with the necessity of experimentation requires judgment and foresight. Every snap offers information about personnel strengths, strategic flexibility, and developmental priorities. Understanding how the roster responds under pressure, where adjustments are effective, and which players are ready to assume greater responsibility will set the tone for the offseason and beyond. The final stretch, even without playoff implications, remains a critical phase for growth, evaluation, and preparation. As the season winds down, the Cowboys are left with more questions than answers. But there is a purpose in scrutinizing every play, every decision, and every moment of execution. The interplay of success and struggle on the field has created a landscape where insight is as valuable as points on the scoreboard. The final two games may lack playoff significance, yet they are rich with opportunity for growth, assessment, and clarity on what needs to change. Coaches are testing lineups, evaluating talent, and considering how rotations can be optimized, while players are facing the challenge of maintaining focus and discipline in a context that might otherwise feel like the season's final curtain. These conditions force honesty about ability, preparation, and resilience, which is precisely the perspective needed for a stronger season next year. The offensive side continues to reveal both strengths and areas of concern. Dak Prescott has shown the capacity to elevate the game with pinpoint accuracy, smart decision-making, and timely improvisation. His leadership is visible in moments of composure, yet the inconsistencies highlight the importance of surrounding him with dependable support, both in terms of personnel and play calling. Wide receivers and tight ends have delivered flashes of brilliance, but at times, the misalignment between timing, routes, and quarterback decisions has exposed the team to unnecessary pressure. Players like Turpin have generated debate. Their potential is tantalizing, but their inconsistencies underscore the importance of measured evaluation. the coaching staff faces critical decisions whether to continue investing snaps in development or to emphasize immediate reliability. Each choice carries long-term implications for the team's trajectory. Defensively, the challenges have been pronounced, particularly within the linebacker cores. Failures in fundamentals and positioning have been amplified by lapses in communication and adjustments. Veterans who should provide stability have underperformed, leaving gaps that compromise overall defensive cohesion. Younger players, while showing promise, are still in developmental stages, and their performance must be contextualized. Yet, the cumulative defensive struggles reveal not just individual shortcomings, but also systemic issues in coaching, preparation, and in-game strategy. Each failure is a lesson, each breakdown an opportunity to identify intervention points for improvement. Whether through personnel changes, coaching refinements, or adjustments in practice emphasis, special teams remain a critical piece of the puzzle. Every kickoff, punt, and return has carried an element of risk, and the lack of consistency has repeatedly hampered field position and scoring opportunities. Players who were expected to excel in this phase have struggled, highlighting the need for both tactical adjustments and skill development. Coverage breakdowns, missed tackles, and hesitation in key moments underscore the importance of using the remaining games to diagnose weaknesses and test potential solutions. These observations are essential for creating a dependable unit that can positively influence momentum in future contests. Leadership continues to be central to the team's identity. The head coach, while not solely accountable for every misstep, remains the orchestrator of all three phases, and the scrutiny surrounding decision-making is warranted in critical situations, such as fourth downs or red zone execution. Moments of caution or questionable judgment have raised concerns. Evaluating the effectiveness of these decisions and their alignment with team goals is necessary for shaping coaching approaches moving forward. Players' responses to adversity, their ability to maintain focus, and their execution under pressure all reflect both personal character and the cultural environment fostered by leadership. These observations will influence off-season priorities, from adjustments in play calling to leadership development and mentorship roles within the locker room. Amid the challenges, flashes of potential remain evident. George Pickens has provided a spark that demonstrates what can happen when talent, preparation, and opportunity align. His capacity to stretch defenses, create space, and convert plays into momentum is a reminder of the roster's untapped potential. These moments of success underscore the importance of cultivating consistency and alignment between coaching strategies and player execution. Observing how these sparks translate under game conditions provides insight into which players can be trusted in high-leverage situations and which schemes maximize the roster's strengths. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. A storm seems to be brewing in Dallas as rumors swirl around the Cowboys headquarters, igniting whispers of internal chaos that have fans and analysts alike on edge. Sources close to the team suggest that the sudden dismissal of the assistant coach has sent shockwaves through the organization, with speculation mounting over the exact nature of the scandal that led to such a drastic decision. While official statements remain sparse, insiders hint that the situation involves more than just a minor disagreement, suggesting a breach of trust or conduct that has struck a nerve at the highest levels. Adding fuel to the fire is the reported reaction of team owner Jerry Jones, who is said to be furious over the incident. Known for his hands-on approach and larger-than-life personality, Jones' apparent anger has only intensified speculation about the internal dynamics of one of the NFL's most scrutinized franchises. Industry watchers are now questioning how this internal conflict might ripple through the locker room, potentially affecting player morale and even the team's performance on the field. Some insiders have gone as far as to suggest that the shakeup could be a catalyst for further changes in the coaching staff, though nothing has been confirmed. The timing of this dismissal has raised eyebrows, with many wondering if the decision was prompted by long-standing issues finally coming to a head, or if it was triggered by a more recent, explosive incident. Rumors abound about heated confrontations behind closed doors, and while the details remain murky, the atmosphere within the Cowboys organization is reportedly tense. Analysts are speculating whether this could signal a shift in the team's strategy or philosophy, especially as Jones has historically been unafraid to make bold moves To protect his team's reputation and competitiveness, fans have taken to social media to voice their reactions, ranging from shock to curiosity. And the story has quickly become a trending topic in the NFL world. Sports commentators are weighing in on the potential long-term ramifications, with some suggesting that the fallout could extend beyond the coaching staff and into the front office as the rumor mill churns. Questions linger. Who else might be affected? How will the team respond publicly? And what does this mean for the Cowboys' future? One thing is certain. Dallas is at the center of an internal storm, and the coming days may reveal just how deep the repercussions of this controversy truly run. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.